The microphones are on.
We got more than we need in growth. Let's everybody get
Sheriff's gonna take it.
You got a sheet to sign that sheet?
I do not.
All right, mic's on.
He's going to go
We got him in
new business,
number 1 in new business, don't we?
number 1 in new business. Okay, no,
You never know who's going to show up.
do you have a copy?
Yeah, I can grab one.
Can you read the consent agenda?
Stephanie said I can't do this, but I think.
I have it up.
Okay, all right, then that's okay. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
Still want something to write on, though. Something to write on the agenda?
No, she's making copies. Yeah, she is.
Food type?
Who types it?
Food type?
I'm sure it's been pronounced a million ways.
Yes. I would pronounce it a whole bunch of guys differently. But trying to election out.
It's the first reading for the final budget. Yeah, it's the first reading for it.
Oh, you need to minimize it.
There it is, okay.
All right, here we go.
You're up.
Good evening and welcome to the Spalding County Board of Commissioners regular meeting. It is Monday, November 7th, 2022 at 6 p.m. At this time, I'd like to ask for a motion to amend the agenda.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to ask for a motion to amend the agenda to include a new item under number 1, under new business for an update from Judge Thacker and the Justice Facilities Commission.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your hand. Thank you. This time, I'd like to request Reverend Brandon Foote for Carver Road Baptist Church to deliver the invocation, followed by Commissioner Rita Johnson to lead us in the pledge.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As we go to our Heavenly Father in prayer, one of my prayers coming into this meeting before we begin, I just want to encourage each of you who represent governing authorities as well as the people and share that God's desire is not just that we love one another, but that we be unified in heart, mind, and just as our Savior prayed right before he went to the cross, he said, I pray that we may be one just as you are one. That's my prayer, that we be united in spirit in all our interactions, thinking about others above ourselves. And so let's go to our Heavenly Father in prayer, if you don't mind. Father, I thank you for these men and women. Your word says you appointed them, and they are your servants. Thank you for placing them and using them to influence change. Father, give them wisdom beyond their years. Give them guidance beyond their vision. We pray your kingdom come and your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. You tell us to trust in you and lean not on our own understanding. And if we acknowledge you, you make our path straight. Father, make your ways clear. I know you're a way maker and a miracle worker. And Father, I expect big things from you. And I pray that my brothers and sisters do too. Help us to dream big, plan big for you and your glory. I thank you for blessing us and the blessings you bestowed on us to be here tonight. And I pray now that you bless all the business that goes on. Father, your word says you work all things together for good for those who love you and who are called according to your purpose. Father, we love you, and I pray that you draw all men to yourself. If some don't know you or love you, I pray if they don't have a relationship, you melt their hearts of stone and make men and women be men and women after your own heart, Father. It is in your precious name that we pray and we open this meeting. Amen.
Will please join me in the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Reverend. At this time, for those of you that can't see, I'd suggest that you try to keep up on the big screen. We will move through. That's exactly what we see from the on our screens in front of us. At this time, public hearing. Item number 1, conduct a public hearing on the street light district for Sun City Pods 13 and 14. Do I have a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved.
I have a motion, and I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your hand. All right. Dr. Ledbetter.
Ms.
So-
Littlefield?
Mr. Chairman, Kelly Littlefield, Community Development Director. So what this is it is an item for the approval of our streetlights within Sun City. These have already been approved by Central Georgia EMC. And as was asked earlier, the streetlights do conform because they have to meet the state standards, which is what the light ratio for streets is based on in our lighting ordinance. It does meet. They will be in conformance with the design that's already been approved for Sun City in conjunction with the approval of the master plan. I believe that was one of the items that was approved previously. And it's been approved all the way around. It's just waiting on the sign off of the commission.
Mr. Chairman, I don't believe anyone has signed up this evening for the street light for Sun City.
All right. Can I have a motion?
to approve.
Oh, I think we
Motion to close.
I have a motion to close the,
Close the public hearing. Motion to
Second.
close the
I'll
public hearing.
second.
I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your hand. Public hearing is closed. Presentation and proclamations. Recognize the graduates of the 5th Annual Citizen Sheriff's Academy. The course began on August 30, 2022, and ended November 1st, 2022. Wonderful Sheriff Dix, would you please come forward?
Good evening, how are y'all?
Great.
Thank you. These past few weeks have been very eventful with our Citizen Sheriff's Academy class. For those of you who don't know what the Citizen Sheriff's Academy class is it's a 10-week program. We meet once a week, and it gives citizens the opportunity to come through the sheriff's office and get a peek at what we do in every division all the way across the agency, some of the services that we provide, and it's kind of like a Mythbusters things in a lot of ways. We try to get students to participate and ask questions about why we do certain things, how we operate, and things like that. And I can honestly tell you that this class was the largest that we've graduated, and they were certainly ones who put us to the task on a lot of things. But you know, I'm very proud of that fact because it gives us a chance to put out good information and to let people know what really goes on. We also, in this class, we have 2 students that one of them has already been hired by the sheriff's office and is working as a detention officer. And we have another young lady who is finishing out her hiring process and will hopefully within the next week or so go to work with the sheriff's office as a detention officer. So it's just a natural progression. So you know, when we do this class, like I said, we really appreciate it. And I still believe, and I've spoken to a couple of you about this, and I think some of these folks tell you the same thing, that I think it would be a great idea if Spalding County government did a Citizens Government Academy, you know, to show everything that the county does that people just don't realize. They can see where their tax dollars go and get a good grasp on that. So I'm going to go ahead and start calling up students, give them their certificates. Ladies and gentlemen, when I call you up here, if you'll just wait up front, because we're going to do a big, you know, group picture. And then after that, if any of you want to make a couple of comments, we're more than happy to have you come up and make some comments. Serena Angles, you get to go first. You get to stand by yourself. Just go right up there. Ann Barnes. Congratulations, Ms. Walker. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Madison Basham. Is Madison here? Okay. Byron Black. I'm sorry, Brian Black. Mr. Black. Married?
I do not understand why I'm getting laughed at.
I don't either. Pam Brooks.
I'm jealous. You gotta find a helicopter.
Serena Brooks. Betty Bryant. Jeffrey Campbell.
I know, that's super cool. That's super cool. I gotta have.
Leslie Caraway.
Hey, y'all, she got tased.
She volunteered to get tased in front of the whole class. April English. Claire Ann. Claire Ann English. Thank you, ma'am. Deborah Kelly. Jody Matthews. Haley Matthews. Alfred McClure. He of the handlebar mustache.
It needs its own good.
Mona Norton. Mona is also one of our agency chaplains. She just signed on to be one of our chaplains about a month ago. Cindy Phillips. Jackie Roberson. Cindy Sanders. Earl, the Pearl of Georgia Shivers. George Smith. George Smith. Mr. Smith. Regina Stevens. Diane Wiles. And Ocean Zutik. This is your 2022 Citizen Sheriff's Academy class.
All right, if everybody would kind of move in together, this is too wide so everybody kind of get in a couple rows with the sheriff. Family members, if you need to move forward or something, this is the time. We got everybody here, so.
DeAndre, up high, that's the better angle, come on. Yeah, up high.
All right, has everybody got their picture? All right.
Selfie, go ahead. All right, everybody this way. There's a group selfie. Everybody this way. Eric, wait. There's a group selfie. Thank you all.
See how I'm doing? Okay, so y'all laughed at me. Now you got to suffer through me saying something, because they laughed at me at this whole class. But I had so much fun. If you have not taken this class, you need to sign up to take this class. We went to the courthouse. We went to the jail. And I can assure you that if I get pulled over by any of these deputies, I will run. I will do everything I can so that I get taken to the hospital and not to the jail. Not that there was anything wrong with it. It was very clean. It was very professional. But there is 3030, cell block 3030. We do not want to be in there, okay? We don't. So anyway, we had to eat the jail food. Well, they didn't force us to, but it was either that or go hungry. And so we did have the jail food, so we knew. But our sheriff makes it a point to treat, I call them criminals, they call them inmates. But anyway, he makes it a point to treat them with respect. He wants their food to be quality, that it can be eaten by anybody. He does test where he goes in and he'll taste it, and if it's not, he'll say something. They made it a point to let each of us ride in the SWAT vehicles. We went in the helicopter, which was fabulous. There's not really any way that you can put a favorite on any of the classes, because they were all different and all special in so many different ways. I know other people probably want to say something too, but I got to tell you, this was well worth it. We didn't pay a dime for any of it. We found out, in case y'all don't know, we have 2 helicopters that did not cost the taxpayers a dime to purchase. And that's because of Chief Deputy Tony Thomason, who helped get grants. They didn't cost us anything as taxpayers to pay for the painting. This is stuff that you find out from going to these classes. They get local food places to get the food for us, which was all very good. What am I missing, y'all? he wants me to tell you about the Nutriloaf, and I tell you, that's for the bad criminals, and that's why Earl knows so much about it. And I got to tell you, it looked like dog food. And I told them that I couldn't eat it because I was a vegetarian, and they assured me it was all vegetables, so I was perfectly allowed to eat that. But anyway, take the class, talk to the sheriff about it, get involved in it. It helps you know about your community. It really taught me about how frugal they are and how cost efficient they are when it comes to getting things for our community and for our county. And I, as a taxpayer, appreciate that. I appreciate every single person that was involved in this, as a teacher, as somebody that prepared the stuff. The paperwork, we had a huge notebook that we can go back and reflect on. So all of that is much, much appreciated, and I can't thank them enough. So thank you.
Everybody that we saw that works under the sheriff had the highest, I was just blown away with the respect. Absolutely. I hate to say adored. They just had the highest respect for this sheriff. I was blown away. I mean, nobody had anything even remotely negative. Everything was just the highest praise ever. They need a raise.
And do y'all know that we have 5 dogs that work as canine officers? I mean, that's impressive. 5, and they're all trained. We couldn't pet all of them, but some of them we could, because I begged. But anyway, take the class. It's very well worth your time and energy to do that.
I'll just be brief, but I wanted to say one thing, as opposed to, no. I will just be brief, but one thing, I don't think I've ever been really quick to judge when I see things on social media, but we had one class that Sheriff Dix led, and we were to watch these videos and write down whether or not it was justified use of force. And I'm writing down, nope, you know, because you asked us to be honest, and I was being honest. But then we saw a different angle of the video, and I was scratching out my no and putting yes. And I realized that we should not be quick to judge when we see something on the news or on social media, even if we're watching a video. Because there's always 2 sides to a story, and there's always 2 angles of a video. And so I still, don't ask me my opinion on things, because I'm not giving it to you unless I was there.
Okay, now I'm going next. What a lot of people don't realize is the youth programs they have in place. Some of you do, some you know don't know. But you know, they go to Washington once a year, especially since COVID hopefully is behind us. But a lot of our youth in this town do not go out of Griffin. I taught in this town for 25 years. I had students that never set foot out of Griffin unless they went on the field trip. So I went around to the class, and it's really hard to do with deputies around. But I felt like I couldn't tell them to get out of the way for a little while. So some of the deputies was aware of this. And we did this last year. But our class, we took up money, and we wanted to protect. Anyway, we got this check for the sheriff to use for his youth.
This will go toward our Santa Sheriff program this year to help provide some toys and some stuff for some kids who might not have that opportunity. So thank y'all very much. Appreciate y'all. Thanks for the hard work that y'all put in. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Good job. Good to see you, sir.
No sweat, no sweat.
You can hit the gavel.
Yeah, you can get the gavel.
If I could get you all that are on your way out to go ahead and please leave, I appreciate it. Congratulations to all of you that graduated.
Stay.
Hold it, hold it. You can't leave yet. Okay, go ahead.
Hey, I want to take a minute here and recognize the future of Griffin right in front of us, future of Spalding County, and that's this young gentleman right here coming in to do Citizenship in the Community Merit Badge. I remember sitting in those very seats in this very room when I was doing the Citizenship in the Community Merit Badge, and like I told him earlier, Boy Scouting is huge, huge, huge. It makes a huge difference in young men's lives. And it continues on when they're adults too. When I was still seeking employment from others, now I'm self-employed. But every time I'd go in and get a job interview, it didn't matter what the languages on my resume said, or the different degrees, or what honors I had. Every single person said, "Wow, you're an Eagle Scout? That's a big deal," and it really is. And I hope to see a whole bunch more people sitting down where you are. And I can't wait till you come back when you got your Eagle.
Thank you. Item number 2, consider a joint proclamation with the City of Griffin recognizing small businesses in the City of Griffin and Spalding County and their contribution to our local economy by celebrating Small Businesses Saturday 2022 on Saturday, November 26th, 2022. Dr. Ledbetter.
Thank you, Chairman. I'll be more than happy to read the proclamation this evening. The Griffin Spalding Proclamation for Small Business Saturday 2022. Whereas the City of Griffin and Spalding County would like to celebrate our local small businesses and the contributions they make to our local economy and community. And according to the United States Small Business Administration, there are 32.5 million small businesses in the United States. Small businesses represent 99.7% of firms with paid employees. Small businesses are responsible for 62% of net new jobs created since 1995. And small businesses employ 46.8% of the employees in the private sector in the United States. And 79% of consumers understand the importance of supporting the small businesses in their community on Small Business Saturday. 70% report the day makes them want to encourage others to shop small. Independently owned retailers and 66% report that the day makes them want to shop small all year long. And 58% of shoppers reported they shopped online with a small business, and 54% reported they dined or ordered takeout from a small restaurant, bar, or cafe on Small Business Saturday in 2021. And the City of Griffin and Spalding County supports our local businesses that create jobs, boost our local economy, and prepare our communities. And advocacy groups, as well as public and private organizations across the country, have endorsed this Saturday after Thanksgiving as Small Business Saturday. And we recognize the Griffin Spalding Chamber of Commerce as an advocate for small businesses and applaud its effort to support the Shop Small season. And whereas when you support a local business, you're also supporting your own town, city, and neighborhood. Business pays sales tax to the city and county in which the business is located. The tax money is used to support public schools, parks, roads, and sidewalks, as well as fund public service workers, including first responders. Now therefore be it resolved that the City of Griffin Board of Commissioners and the Spalding County Board of Commissioners do hereby proclaim November 26, 2022 as Small Business Saturday, and urges the residents of our community and communities across this country to support small businesses and merchants on Small Business Saturday and throughout the year.
Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Do I have a second? Any more discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your hand. 5-0, motion carries. Ms. Jones, if you'd step forward.
She also has something to say, and she wants to give something out.
Well, yeah,
I brought some things for you guys to have. So what is inside your little kit here is our passport. So the chamber does a shop small season, not just the 26th. If we all waited until November 26th to start our holiday shopping, we would be in trouble. So we encourage you to start now. We're gonna start with this second Saturday and distribute passports. We do a passport program where it looks like a little passport. You're going around town and getting stamps from local businesses inside your passport. You turn these passports back into us with your name and contact information, and you could win prizes from these same small businesses. You guys know, if you ever ask for a door prize or a gift card or to support a baseball team, it's not gonna come from your big box. It's gonna come from your small businesses. So this passport program, we're collecting names of businesses. Inside these, I have a QR code that leads you directly to our website, to the page with a listing of businesses that are participating. So we're still building on that. Volunteers are signing those people up now, and we'll be delivering all that out. I have a few more that I'll leave in the back if anybody else wants a copy. But this starts this Saturday, November the 12th. That second Saturday, we'll have them out around downtown at a lot of local businesses. And as well, and then we collect them on December the 10th, the second Saturday in December. So you can bring them to the chamber or any other participating business and get a chance to win prizes. But thank you for supporting small businesses. They are the backbone of our community and make our community what it is.
leave that go. We're gonna take a picture. Sure.
Oh, we going down there?
That's right.
Mr. Chairman, when you look out at the baseball fields and the softball fields and the soccer fields and the high school fields, you see small business signs. You see them donating. You don't see Amazon. You don't see Walmart. You see people who are in your community, giving back to your community, and that's what this is all about, and that's what the chamber is all about, and we appreciate all the hard work you put into it.
Item number 6, citizen comments. Speakers must sign up prior to the meeting and provide their names, addresses, and the topics they wish to discuss. Speakers must direct your remarks to the board and not to individual commissioners or to the audience. Personal disagreements with the individual commissioners or county employees are not a matter of public concern, and personal attacks will not be tolerated. The chairman has the right to limit your comments in the interest of disposing of the county's business in an efficient and respectful manner. Speakers will be allocated 3 minutes to speak on their chosen topics as they relate to matters pertaining to the jurisdiction of the Board of Commissioners. No questions will be asked by any of the commissioners during citizen comments. Outbursts from the audience will not be tolerated. Common courtesy and civility are expected at all times during the meeting. No speakers will be permitted to speak more than 3 minutes or more than once unless the board votes to suspend this rule. Dr. Ledbetter, do we have people to speak tonight?
We do. First up is Robert Morgan.
Mr. Morgan, if you'd step forward to the microphone, give us your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Robert Morgan at 19 Johnston Road, Griffin, Georgia. Can I get these to y'all?
Kathy, could you grab
Yes,
that?
we'll get them.
What you have is an agreement that was made between me and myself, or myself and the county, back in 1995. On September the 19th, I went to Public Works to see about getting this creek bed cleaned out. That the county agreed to keep it clean in 95. And the lady said my name was on the books and it'd be cleaned out, and she would turn it over to Public Works. Well, on the 21st, I called her back up and asked her again what happened, and she said the guy was in the area, but he never showed up that same day. On the 23rd, I came to the annex office and tried to find out who the commissioner was. She gave me a card with the commissioner's name on it. I'm in District 2. And the number on there was no good for the commissioner. So I went back to the city annex office, told him again about the number. She gave me another, told me she would contact the commissioner himself and have him give me a call. And she also gave me TJ's cell phone number, which I didn't have at the time. On October the 3rd, I hadn't heard from the commissioner yet. I called TJ and told him what was going on. And what I'd done, he told me he would check on it when he got back in the office. Well, here's November the 7th. I still ain't heard from TJ, so I guess he never made it to the office. So I'm still waiting to hear something on this anyway. Now, I think after 43 days that the county has a lack of communication or problem somewhere or another, because nobody's ever communicated with me about getting this thing done. If you're not going to live up to your agreement, I ask that you rescind or reinstate this agreement, take me off of it, remove everything from it. You have no right to come on my property whatsoever unless you want to continue this agreement here. And the only reason I'm asking because I've been cleaning it out, except for one time in 1999, y'all came down and cleaned it out. Normally I do it myself. I have rheumatoid arthritis. I can no longer do it. So I want you to either live up to your agreement or either just rescind it and give me back my rights and my property where you have no right to enter it and come back on it again forever.
Thank you. Mr. Johnson, appreciate it.
Miss Amy Faircloth?
I was told to sign up. Okay, don't need to.
All right, thank
Okay.
you.
We understand.
Deborah Kelly?
Deborah Kelly, 1530 Cabin Creek Trail, Griffin, Georgia.
Thank you.
I'm here as a representative of the Making Tracks Travel Club from the Senior Center and about the new bus that we have received. Thank you, Commissioners. We're very proud of it, and we thank you for getting it for us. We're glad to have it, as I said. We have 2 trips planned right now for November 16th and 17th. I believe everybody has been contacted by Lauren Brown's office to invite you to come and go on one of those trips with us. We haven't heard from anybody. We were told to hold seats until we heard from y'all, which means we can't take everybody that wants to go. Of course, we can't take 240 members. That's what we have right now. So if you could let us know if you would like to go with us. We're going to Centerville, which is close to Warner Robins, to the Old Time Country Buffet just for a lunch trip. And then, of course, we're going to Buc-ee's because you can't get that close to Buc-ee's and not go. So we really need to know something from your group because we need to let our members know if we need to call them in so they can come and pay for their lunch and what day they can go on the trip. So if you need any more information, I have the number of the president, Margaret Varnum, and I can give it to you if you wish it to call and talk to her, or you can just contact Ms. Brown's office. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Kelly. We appreciate it.
Miss Jewel Walker Harp?
Welcome back, Ms. Jewel.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As he said, my name is Jewel Walker Harps. I live at 103 McElthel Drive, Griffin, Georgia. And I'm here tonight on behalf of the Griffin Branch NAACP. We've been analyzing for a few weeks now the relationship of Spalding County and the company Liberty Technology. After looking at the agreement between the two and after becoming aware of the ethics complaint filed against the county, we are here asking you to rescind, cancel, or replace Liberty Technology as IT company for the county. It is puzzling that you have not recognized the conflict of interest in having a company to manage all of the technology for the county, and the owner of that company is currently the chair of the county's election board and has access to all of the machines, including the election machines. It has been documented that he has access to the voting machines, but even if he did not have such, he is still in a position to influence others who work for the company. The concern is the fact that the opportunity is there, and that destroys the credibility of the electoral process. It is the perception of wrongdoing that creates the doubt. We are aware that the election is tomorrow, and there is a possibility of a runoff. We want to know what you're going to do to assure that the integrity of the election will not be in any way jeopardized in any way by the existing circumstances. Ultimately, we expect as soon as legally possible to see Liberty Technology removed and a job put out for bids and awarded to a company with no personal interest in the politics of Spalding County, and that a legal contract be provided that will protect the rights and privileges of the citizens of this county. If you fail to act in a reasonable period of time and in a satisfactory way, you will leave us no choice other than to find other means of resolving what we consider a very, very important issue. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Ms. Jewell.
And I may not hear your response. I've got an issue at my house, so I may have to leave, but I will know what it is.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Jack Poole.
Oh, okay.
Hello everyone, I am here from the Boy Scouts, Troop 66, and I am here to discuss about the issues the county is facing. My name is Jack, and my address is 104 Court Crossing, and yeah.
Okay.
All right, so what are the issues the county is facing as of right now? Hmm?
We don't get to respond.
We don't get to respond, we just get to listen to, at this time,
Oh,
okay?
how can a Boy Scouts help with the issue?
Once again, we don't get to respond.
Oh,
I think you can make an exception, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to make a motion for you to make an exception.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Anybody, any more discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your hands. 5-0.
So you get to answer. Oh. You want me to answer?
yeah.
So we've got a bunch of issues in Spalding County. One of the big ones, of course, is our roads that constantly need repair. They're the biggest ticket item we have here in town. But we also have issues that come before us, such as public safety. Our sheriff is fantastic. He's even good at getting microphones to work there, as you just saw. But we've got some big hurdles coming up. You heard tonight already about the issues with our jail and how old it is and how much maintenance it needs. And it costs a lot of money to build a new one. So there's a lot of stuff coming up. But I think the most important one is actually the one that we heard first tonight, and that was from the Reverend. And that was the unity in the county and us being more, thinking of ourselves as one county as opposed to a bunch of separate ones. Now,
Okay.
And the second question was, what can Boy Scouts do to help?
Yes.
When the hurricanes came up, the last hurricane, I know my group reached out to the county manager and said, hey, we're on standby and we'd love to help any way we can. That's certainly something that the Boy Scouts can do when there's a disaster. But if you look at these two gentlemen right here, they would love to teach you all about some of the emergency response stuff, as well as the sheriff in the back taking these classes. In addition to that, of course, is, they say always be teaching people, and if necessary, use words. And that's what Boy Scouts do, is lead by example. And coming here tonight is a huge example. I know there's a bunch of people who wouldn't come up and do what you're doing, but you being brave like this and coming and talking to us adults, that's a big deal, and it shows a great example. And I think that's where the Boy Scouts can help most of.
Okay, so who fixes that issue?
You do. You do. The citizens do. Now we're
Okay.
trying. Now again, the T-Splost help with the roads. We've got our judge here tonight trying to help with our jail. But that unity, you've heard from all the different groups that come in tonight, and that's what it's all about.
All right. Thank you.
Ms. Gwynn?
No, I just wanted him to give him the 8-year-old version. Not the 18-year-old version. But thank you for coming. You're
Okay,
brave
thank you.
for
You're
coming up.
welcome.
All right.
All right, bye.
Thank you. Thank you, Jack.
Thanks, Jack.
Good job.
Anybody else?
No, sir, that's it. That's all that have signed up.
All right. Item number 7, minutes. Consider approval of the minutes of the Spalding County Board of Commissioners special called meeting, extraordinary session, and executive session on September 19th, 2022. The Spalding County Board of Commissioners special called meeting and zoning public hearing on September 22 of 2022. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second? I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your hand. 5-0. Minutes passed. Old business. Submittal of Department of Health approval of the Big Peach concept plan. This project will be located in the Tri-City County overlay and has been approved for the special exception to be able to construct and operate a car wash. Dr. Ledbetter?
I'd recognize Ms. Littlefield.
Yes, sir. Kelly Littlefield, Community Development Director. This is the car wash that came before you not too long ago, that it was recommended that they seek out a Department of Health approval for the sewerage of the wastewater, specifically from the car wash. This is not for the bathrooms or anything associated with actual septage, except the car wash itself, and it's their purification system. Those have been reviewed not only by the Department of Health, but it's my understanding that they have sent that forward for review by the EPD, and they've been approved on both levels.
Okay. I have a motion to approve.
Motion to approve. All right. Was that just information?
It's a notification, Mr. Chair, that was the recommendation of the board whenever they were approved for their concept and design for Tri-County overlay. You requested that we come back with a notice if Public Health had reviewed and signed off.
That is correct.
All right. Thank you. Consent agenda. So everyone's aware, items on the consent agenda can be approved with no discussion. The board can indicate which items need discussion after all the items are read. The items that need further discussion will then be heard, and once the discussion is complete, the items will, the board has no problems approving, will be voted on as a whole.
Mr. Chairman, I'll begin reading. Item number 1, consider a request from Amy Faircloth for an amplification permit for a wedding on December 10th, 2022, from 3 to 10 p.m. at 2613 Noonan Road, Griffin, Georgia. Item 2, consider a request from Nick Zell in Nunez for an amplification permit on November 24th, 2022, from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. at 2956 Teeman Road, Griffin, Georgia, for a birthday celebration. Consider request, number 3, consider a request for an amplification permit from the Spalding County Animal Care and Control staff to host a Claws for Paws event on Saturday, November 19th, 2022, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Number 4, Consider the approval of the renewal of the alcohol business licenses for retail sale of beer and wine. Number 1, Shirley Ellis, Circle K Stores Incorporated, doing business as Circle K. Number 272-3331, located at 3420 Jackson Road, Griffin, Georgia 30224. Number 2, Shanaz Bandani Jawani Business, LLC, doing business as Superfood, 2529 Old Atlanta Road, Griffin, Georgia 30223. Item 5, consider renewal of the annual contract with the City of Sunnyside and the City of Orchard Hill for fire services. Number 6, consider approval of a graphic design for the new coach bus as proposed by the Parks and Leisure Services Advisory Commission. Number 7, consider approval of a street light district for the Vineyard Park subdivision. And number 8, consider request from Fire Chief Mike Byrd of the Spalding County Fire Department for permission to order 2 Sutphen fire engines. Must be 2 Sutphen, TWO. The cost for each truck will be $750,000 for a total of $1.5 million, and the board approved the financing program for these 2 fire engines at the extraordinary session on October 17th, 2022.
That's Fire Chief of the Year,
That's right.
Michael Byrd. So, yes. Do I have a motion to approve all of them?
No, Mr. Chairman,
Okay.
I would like for you to take out item, I'd like to discuss item number 8. And item number 6.
All right.
So, and with that being said, I would like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda minus items number 6 and item number 8.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your hand. All right. Item number 6, consider approval of a graphic design for the new coach bus as proposed by Parks and Leisure Service Advisory Commission.
So first of all, I would just simply like to ask our attorney, are these items something that we need to do 2 votes on? Because clearly we're talking about the graphic design, which is, I don't see anything that tells us how much it costs. I think it'll be in-house for number 6. But this is just a little different for me, for us to be making decisions about money items in consent agenda.
Right, and I think we can pull those out and address them separately as needed to address those concerns.
So would that be under new business or?
Yes, ma'am, we can pull it to new business.
Okay, and that is my question. I think when we're making, especially with item number 8, that should not be consent agenda. I think that needs to be explained out loud, so.
Okay.
That's my only comment.
Okay.
So do we go back to number 6 then?
Did we vote?
No.
Oh, we didn't vote on them.
Vote on the first 6, I mean.
Yes, we did.
We
Yes,
voted
you-
on the
you
first-
voted on the
first- yeah, we
first
did the
6.
The 6 of the 8.
And we will place item number 6 as item number 9 under new business, and item number 8 is item number 10 under new business.
Mr. Chairman, may I ask the county manager if you could reconsider putting those 2 items at the front side, because everything else kind of will roll, and I just hate for them to have to wait until the last item on
After
the
Oh,
agenda.
absolutely, I'd be
Okay,
more than
to
happy
do
to.
that.
Yeah, can we put
You
those
owe me
as item
$20.
number 2 for consent item number 8? Move it to new item number 2 under new business. That way
Okay.
it's right behind Judge Thacker.
That'll work for me.
And then we'll move all the others down accordingly, if that's okay.
Because I think the others will roll through.
All right.
Okay. New, item number 10, new business. Consider request from Judge Thacker to update the board on the findings of the Justice Facilities Commission and make recommendations. Judge Thacker, welcome back.
Thank you for having me.
So I am back in front of you. My day job is judge, but my full-time job lately is co-chair with Alexander Hope as of the Justice Facilities Committee. You all, when I was here a couple weeks ago, asked me to get some information for you all on how to go about getting the request for quotes. I used the word bids last week. That was the wrong term, by the way. It's quotes. Quotes, like you get your car, you get a quote. So this is a non-funded, not asking for money. What we're doing is trying to figure out what does this look like financially. So I'm asking you all for 2 requests for quotes approval. The first one is the needs assessment, the judicial needs assessment that I was speaking to you all about last time. We pulled Henry County. They did the same thing. We used their forms. I emailed them to you all so that you have them. And it's just a very broad, very broad stroke request for this. And the folks who are going to bid on it are going to know exactly what they're going to put out there for the quote. I want to stress to you all and to everybody else, this is not a funded request. This is simply a request so that we can get a number so that we can then have that discussion and decide at that point, what does that look like? And this is also going to be a relatively slower process. It's going to take several months to kind of get it going and then get them in and then discuss them. So this is not going to happen in the next couple of weeks. This is a several month process. And that's one of the reasons I'm back so quick, is so we can kind of see if we can get that ball rolling. That was the first one. The second of my requests is much smaller, which is that you all have kindly moved the tag office down the street. We are going to miss Sylvia dearly. She's been a wonderful neighbor on the first floor. But she's so excited about her new space down the road. We're very much looking forward to utilizing her space. I am asking you all, back as the state court judge here, to approve a request for a quote, again, same request, for an architect to have them come look at that space, because right now it's a tag office and we need to turn it into a ceremonial courtroom, or potentially a hearing room or whatever. I don't have the skills to do that. And although Lance Griffin is amazing and works miracles all the time, I hate to tax him with the idea of designing and implementing a courtroom space. And so we would like you all to approve quotes so that an architect could bid on this, or quote on this, excuse me, I keep using that same word because it's stuck in my head now. Could quote on this so that we could have an idea of what would it cost to bring in an architect to tell us this is how to utilize this space. Because you got the columns that are always everywhere in Spalding County in the way. They hold the ceiling up, I appreciate that, but they're always in the way. So that's it. What questions can I answer for you all? Yes, Ms.
So,
Larson.
thank you for coming back. And I just need to know from Dr. Ledbetter. RFQ, okay, first of all, RFQ can be done by whom? It is just to put it out in the cloud and see who throws stuff back at us.
Yes, ma'am.
How is a RFQ and RFPQ, whatever you want to call it, how is that different in terms of the money that we got to spend? Do we have to spend money to get the RFP as opposed to the RFQ?
Yes, ma'am. You'd have to spend money for a proposal, but you don't have to spend money for qualifications so
Okay,
that you
so-
can get the information that you're looking for. And our prayer is that we would be able to get a range of quotes back so we've got a good understanding of
What it
how
would
much money
take.
it's going to cost.
Okay, yeah, I'm totally in agreement with this because, I just hate for us to be in a position that funding may fall out of the sky. I don't know, I might win the lottery and before I move to Aruba, I'll give y'all some money to build a jail. But if we don't have something on paper, we're lost. We're starting at square one. So having this already put together will put us ahead of the curve in being able to project not only to us, but to the community, what it's gonna cost to fix this need we have.
Thank you.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve?
So move, Mr. Chairman.
And a second. All right, any more discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your hand. 5-0.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Judge, we appreciate it, what your hard work you all are going through. That truly is a huge task. New item number 2, which is the old item 8.
Correct.
Consider request from the Fire Chief Mike Byrd of the Spalding County Fire Department for permission to order two fire engines that cost of $750,000 each for a total of $1.5 million. and the board approval for financing a program for these two fire engines at the extraordinary session from October. Chief
Thank you.
Byrd.
Thank you. Before I start, I do want to elaborate a little bit. We were here to get financing approved last time, and that was, we had to get a proclamation to allow us to use this leasing company on existing orders, which will allow us to move forward to consider these two. So I just want to make sure that was clear before I started. Didn't want to be any confusion.
So have we already ordered the other two that we gave you permission to order?
Yes, ma'am. They've been
Okay.
all, we actually have 3 total on order, and those have been ordered. The GMA lease pool wasn't going to be around by the time these are delivered, and we had to go out and find another option. So that's what that was at the last session I was here. So now I'm coming back asking for 2 more. So if we could go ahead, next slide, please. All right, so we have already ordered a total of 3. We ordered 2, you remember, was the very first 2 you gave permission, December 2021. At that time, they were $650,000. In a year, they have gone up. We've ordered a third, it's $750,000. I'm sorry, go back one more. Or am I bumping it again? So we're asking to go ahead and order 2 more at the $750,000 range, and I'll explain why. Because the price is going to steadily go up, and they're anticipating the price to be $826,000 by January. They're telling us that we're anticipating price increases every 6 months due to several different things with steel tariffs and so forth. Next slide, please.
So is there not an option, or should I say, would they consider, because we are buying more than one, that, we get a better deal for this? I mean,
We
so-
are. We're getting a much better deal for the fact that, one, we're going through, what's the name of the contract we use out of Texas? The Galveston project. So we actually get a discount for using what's called the Galveston contract, which Spalding County is a member of. So we already get a lower rate by going through that, and we also have got a better price because we have ordered multiple units. And we're also getting a better interest rate by ordering this many on the finance package.
So $750,000 is a better rate
A better price, yes.
than, so yeah, I'm confused. It's the same truck that we just bought for $650,000.
Yes, ma'am.
And now it's $750,000, and we think we got a better price?
Well, this is due to the increase of the materials, labor, all that's roll into what our current economy is taking. So the prices are steadily going up because of the cost of manufacturing.
Are these things American-made?
Yes, ma'am, they're made in Ohio.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know.
Okay.
Just a quick review of what they're replacing. 2007 E1s, the purchase price, and this is staggering in '07, was $350,000 to what we are now, to show you how far it's coming. As of 2022, we have spent, right now, this current budget, we've spent $61,000 in maintenance. We have spent roughly $155,000 since 2020 on all 4 of these type of trucks. They're currently assigned to stations 1, 4, 6, and 7. And this is their current mileages, which is a lot for a fire truck. And what that picture doesn't paint on mileage is hours, because realize when we have a fire, they'll sit on scene for 4, 6, 8 hours. So that mileage doesn't really reflect their actual use, because the engine and transmission is still running, but the odometer's not running. So it's really a misnomer. So that 106 on engine 1 would run closer to over 200,000 miles if you equated the 2. Next slide, please, Ms. Cat. Look, I'll try to explain this. I don't do well with charts sometimes. This shows the stations that those current units are currently assigned to, their call volume. So if you look at the blue on the far right, that's where we are as 2022 right now. Compare it to last year at 2021, you'll see that we're rapidly approaching on those numbers we ran last year, and probably going to surpass them, especially for some of the stations. 2020, I wouldn't take that into account because that was COVID, and oddly enough, our numbers went down between people not coming out and I guess just being afraid to call for service. But if you take that anomaly out of 2020 and you look, our projected numbers are steadily going up every year. So our call volume's doing nothing but increasing, which is increasing the demands on all these trucks. Next slide, please. And please stop me if you have any questions. I'm just going to keep rolling. So again, we're bringing forth the same lease option, which is through the company which you already approved. 5-year lease for 2 will be payments of $365 roughly $1,000 a year for 5 years, or you could do the 4-year. But I highly recommend going with the 5-year plan. Next slide. So this currently is what our commitment is.
I'm sorry,
Go back.
Chief, what was that interest rate? Roll it back.
Go back,
one?
please, Mrs. Kathy.
sorry.
The current one we locked in is at 4.46%. And we have got that locked in, and they did so if we decide to order these two, they went ahead and locked us in and with no penalty if we decide we didn't get approved. Because the interest rates are steadily going up as well. Any other questions? All right, next slide. So this is our current commitment. As of 2024, we'll get the first two, which will be a $313,000 payment. By 2025, we'll have that third engine rolling in. So you'll see our commitments and how they go back down because two of them will drop off and we'll be paying for one, $182,000.
Say that again?
So we have two on order, which will be delivered first of 2024. So that's that first payment. We also have a third one on engine, which won't be delivered until 2025. So that shows those $495,000 payments. Then once, by the time we get to 2029, the first two will drop off and we'll be paying for that third one only.
It's the 5 years.
Did I explain it well enough?
Yeah.
Okay. Next slide. Now, if we had ordered two more, this is what our commitment will be. And these are worst-case scenarios, and I'll explain that momentarily. So starting now, if we order these two more, we'll have a total of 5 engines on order with 20% down. 2024, we'd be at $292, but for that 5-year stint, we'll be at $861,000 on payments for 5 engines. Then once again, some of the earlier ones we ordered will roll off and we'll drop down to $549,000 by 2030. And I think my next slide's a comparison to show you. So our current left is our current commitment, the right is what we would have if we actually approved two more and have all 5 on order.
Okay? Yep.
That's the end of it?
No, I just want to make sure no
Oh,
questions.
okay,
Want to give you time to look.
You're looking like,
No, just want to make sure you were looking. All right, you had time to look. Next slide. All right, so how are we going to pay for these? We look at how much our budget's been operating, and before I go over these numbers, I can't predict the future. All I can tell you is what we're showing, what our trends are. The only thing I can predict, prices and delivery times are going to go up. But with that said, at the end of the year 2021 fiscal budget, we added $486,000 to our fund balance. In 2022, now this is the non-audited one, this is the unofficial one, we're going to add $560,000 to our fund balance. And that tends to be the trend of where we're contributing every year with our budget savings to go into our fund balance. Impact fees to possibly pay for one of these have not been factored into this. So again, if the impact fees works out right and we can pay for one of them, then obviously it will be a less of a commitment. But I wanted to paint worst case scenario for y'all. Between what we're contributing to our fund balance and what we're doing with our budget and being frugal with future preferences, we would probably have to dip into the fund balance some, but we feel like we could manage this and try to make it as less as possible with the commitment of having a total of 5 on order. Okay. Next slide, no questions? We are going to approach you, but these are years we're looking at that we would possibly have to order because we still have some other engines. This is unfortunately going to be an ongoing cycle for a while. Engine 3, Engine 5, and Engine 2, we'll have to consider those. Ordering 24, 27, and 29. But again, you're looking at 3 years, and by then it could be 36 months total, or 40 months total delivery time. So that would give us some extension to get past when these others are going to be delivered. And the only reason I put this slide up is I don't want to paint the picture like this is going to be it for a long time, because we still have other trucks we're eventually going to have to look at as well. Just out of transparency. Next slide. So this is showing what fire trucks prices are going to look at. So if we order in 2024 with the price increase projections, 907, by the time we go to order a new fire engine in 2029, it's going to be $1.4 million if the current trend set per truck. And delivery times are showing, that's the slide on the right is demonstrating how long it's taken, and it's just getting longer and longer to build these. Now that, again, is current labor shortage and supply issues. Who knows when that'll be relieved or if. Next slide. Please, any questions?
I have a few.
yes, I do, but I don't even know where to start.
I wrote mine down. What are the life expectancies of these? Like, how long are these going to be usable trucks before we have to replace them?
What the industry trends have started. So like right now, we have a Pierce Saber in service, which is a 1996 model. And unfortunately, they don't make them like that anymore, and it's still a reserve truck. What we're seeing is you're around the 10-year mark with a 3-year delivery, you need to start ordering for your truck around 10 years to get 13 to 15 years out of it, because all the electronics, they're just not holding up like they were. When I first started, you figured about 15 years you would order, and you'd have a truck in a year. So with how they're constructed now, you're really about the 10-year mark, need to start seeing if you can afford and plan on ordering, with the understanding it would probably take you 3 years to get delivered. And you could, like I said, you could push it, but by the 15-year mark, it really needs to be replaced.
What are we gonna do with the current engines that, I mean, they have high mileage, but
They do, but we can,
they're not worth nothing?
without factoring in there, we can sell them. We would hold on, the plan would be, and again, I'm gonna reapproach you about some way we can do some refurbs on our ladder and hold off on purchasing it, because by then, you're looking at $2 million to replace a ladder truck. But I would say we would keep one of the engines, get it really cleaned up nice as reserve, and just sell the rest of them. And I'm sorry, I can't tell you what kind of money we'd get, but it'd be 50,000, 60,000, just in guesstimates of what I'm seeing. Because I did take a quick peek at what used fire trucks are going for these days.
So you're gonna do a great job of actually, seeking grants and things like that. I mean, do
We
we see
do.
any foreseeable grants in the
Well,
future?
we applied for a Fire Act grant this year. It's highly unlikely we'll get it because of our financial situation. There's departments out there that are operating in the negative every year, and with our current situation, we're very low priority to get that grant.
What's your fund balance?
Currently, it is, and I'm gonna quote this off the top of my head, and we just looked at it, 4.9 million, I believe is what we're
Right
sitting
at
at,
5
with the
million.
possibility of getting over 5 once they do the final records, the audits.
And that gives you how many days of operations? Do you know?
It's not gonna be days. We can operate, I'm gonna have to ask Chief Hoke's our budget person, so. 8.1 million, so 8.1 million. So just under a year.
Okay.
221 days? 221 days?
Okay, well, that's decent. So you're, I guess what I'm looking at, you're saying that what you basically bring in fire tax annually between $4,000 and $5,000 is what you're thinking will be the offset for paying these off. What are we spending that money on now?
The money that's left over,
No, that $400,000 or $500,000 that comes into the fire fund, what are we doing with that now? We paying salaries? Are we training? Okay, let me
I'm
see if
not
I can
following,
explain it
sorry.
another way. So you said that what we're bringing in the fire truck, I think you said in excess each year that you would use for payment is averaging between $400,000 and $500,000.
yes, ma'am.
So if we weren't going to use that to pay for these new trucks, what are we spending that money on now?
Okay, so the excess that we have now, we're not spending anything on, it's going into the fund balance. And we do operate in a method that we don't have to exhaust our budget. If we can get by and not spend our entire budget, we don't. So, am I started down the right path, answering the question, make sure I understand?
So, because I know everything in the fire department or has to do with the fire department comes out of those fire taxes.
Fire tax and insurance.
So if
insurance
you only,
premiums.
I guess what I'm trying to find is that excess money?
That is excess money.
That is money above your operations, your salaries?
It's salary, what it is so we have our budget at 8 million. At the end of the year, that's money that's left over, and the biggest source of it has been, we've been running short for some time, and those are salary savings. And to be honest with you, most departments nowadays, they run short on personnel. So we have just hired, and we have 13 new firefighters starting tomorrow, which still leaves us with about 4 openings. So we have gone this far being that short, so we'll have salary savings this year. We should have, again, salary savings next year because there is just turnover, and that's just the nature of the business, emergency services. So in other areas, we try to stay under our budget as much as possible in all categories. So the combination of the salary savings and being frugal and all the other, that's where that excess money is coming from.
So, and I know you said you don't know the future.
No.
But I'm just trying, I'm trying to figure out how that's going to work without you going into, clearly if we do the extra 2, we're talking $800,000 or $900,000 in a year, which is about $400,000 out of general fund every year to cover that. So that's where my concern starts to get. You've been used to rolling with $4 or $5 million in that. what is the limit that you're gonna set in terms, because we're clearly saying here, in order for us to get these vehicles, we need to add more money to that.
And again, this is worst-case scenario. In 3 years, we don't know what the fire tax revenue is going to be. So as more people come to Spalding County, more business, more houses, that revenue is going to go up. So to say that this is just a snapshot of right now,
Right.
without trying to predict the future, what our case would be. In 3 years, I would hope that we probably wouldn't have to go as deep into it because we would have more money coming in due to the increase in population, housing, and businesses.
And it also doesn't account for one of the engines being paid for out of the impact fee. This is worst-case scenario.
Yeah,
What's the annual impact fee that comes to the fire department?
and I'm sorry, Dr. Leber, can you
Yeah,
answer that?
I do not have that readily available for you, but yes, I will get that for you and
Because I'm
send it to you.
thinking $80,000, $90,000.
We are about to, yes.
We haven't yet, but we're gonna.
Sounds about
raise it.
that, but that's my concern with this. I mean, clearly, if we're gonna save $200,000, it's a good thing. What's the clawback? What happens if the people go out of business and we have this contract? Or what happens if we decide in 2 years that we don't really wanna do that? How are we able to back out, or did we lose our 20,000 that we paid down?
Now, once we've committed, we're committed, so we would lose our 20%.
Even if they go bankrupt or something?
Sir?
Even if they're not able to fulfill their part?
Oh, the fire truck? No, we put a performance bond in place that if they go defunct, they have to find us an equivalent fire truck for the same price and they have to take care of it.
Okay.
And we also put in late delivery clauses and penalties and it's in there.
Yes,
And
ma'am, the two chiefs did a wonderful job at making sure that we've got that performance bond in place.
matter of fact, I received on the first two by express mail this week.
So what you're asking for tonight, excuse me, Rita, go ahead, is permission to put a down payment, a deposit on 2 other vehicles?
Yes, ma'am.
Correct.
And I can't help but reiterate, we're fighting daily to keep these trucks in service. Because they're becoming a maintenance issue, and it's just frequent. They're just old, they've been run very hard. And
Well, I
due
mean,
to,
everybody wants the fire truck to show up at their house when they call for it.
and it's not just they won't show up, if it's, let's say it has to sit there for 5 minutes to build air pressure because the air compressor's gone out. We can't afford that kind of time.
Yeah.
We have to have reliable equipment to do our job effectively.
Nor can we afford a higher interest rate, because that 4.46% interest rate is pretty good.
The longer we wait, it's just gonna become more expensive.
Exactly.
There's no doubt. So, and I know that that's scary looking at that, thinking about how much it's gonna cost. The other certainty is it's just gonna get more expensive if we
I'll
don't
be
act
at
now.
Brightmore.
Ma'am?
Yeah, I'll be at Brightmore when y'all get to that.
The other thing, it is really nice to see one of the groups come in and be able to lay it out year after year on what it's gonna look like and what they really need, instead of just a short range, I need this for next year. This is really nice to be able to look at it now. Their pieces of equipment are
Yeah,
pretty
I mean,
expensive,
20
but it's nice to see it that way. All right, do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
All right, do I have a second? I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand.
Thanks, Chief Byrd.
5.
Good
No,
presentation.
thank you very much for your support.
Thank you, Chief.
We appreciate that.
Always good to have the fire chief of the state.
You're gonna make me blush, stop.
All right. Are we doing graphic design?
Number 6.
Leisure services.
I think it was,
Leisure services
It
bus.
moved down to the bottom.
Yeah, I just didn't want us to do that without the public being able to see what it is that we're approving.
I'm good, thank you.
Okay, so what did we?
We can. It's up to you,
Okay,
sir.
next
It's up to you,
item, consider approval of a graphic design for the new coach bus as proposed by Parks and Leisure Service Advisory Commission.
So everybody from Leisure Services is somewhere else, but,
There it is. There it was.
one of the things that I did, it just had Spalding County, but I insisted they put the in Spalding on there because that's our trademark. It's kind of on the back of the bus. I don't know what the going trend is, if it's in the middle or it's in the back. But on the very back of it, I was not really happy with this bus is paid for with your SPOS dollars. I just think it was too big.
It was on there, you're saying? Or was
Yeah,
that-
did we have another picture of it, Kathy, no?
I don't think we have another picture of
Is
it,
that,
ma'am.
is that G the same font as the others, or is that just?
It will get cleaned, it will get cleaned up very well with our sign shop. This
So we're not
was,
approving That we're approving
The
this
concept.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so maybe there might be some opportunities for it, but I mean, clearly, we want Spalding County to be large on there, and that was my concern. It's kind of on the back of the bus, and that's fine, but yeah, I just wanted to make sure that it's large enough that people recognize, and that we have our regular logo, and I think the logo is supposed to be on the back as well.
So are you saying we should or should not have the paid for by SPOS dollars?
Well, I'm not saying, but it's, if you're able to see it, it's pretty big.
Oh, is it? Okay, I'd like to see.
Yeah,
It was
it's
rather
almost
large.
bigger than Spalding County.
My goodness.
I think it should be on there, but
You
that
need to-
doesn't
yeah.
have to be a
But not so
huge
big.
thing. Let's
Right.
make it much smaller to
So
be
we
able
can
to.
ask TJ, they'll do it, but I'm just saying, I want, if you're riding behind that bus, I wanted you to see in Spalding County, Georgia.
Cool. Yep,
Let that be the focus.
okay.
So motion to approve the concept of, the lettering to identify the new big blue, the big white, whatever.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your hand. 5-0, motion passed.
Thank you.
Thank you to the Parks and Leisure Service Advisory for what you've done to get this to where we are. All right. I think this is the old number 2. Consider approval of the 2023 notice of meeting schedule for the Spalding County Board of Commissioners.
Motion to approve.
All right,
As
I have a
presented.
motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second.
I
Th-
just wanted to say I did not realize that we have voted to have a meeting on Tuesday. I called back and like, when we start having a meeting on Tuesday? That's because New Year's is on Monday,
Got a question.
And then the next meeting is?
is the appointment meeting, so.
So the holiday schedule, will we be beginning that next month?
No, it went out.
No, you,
Do we sit down?
I think we had it last
HR
month.
sent that out.
yeah, HR sent the holiday
Oh, so we don't
schedule
approve
out.
that?
No.
We did
Okay.
approve it already.
Yeah, you approved the days already,
Okay.
and all we did was just put it into a calendar so everybody could
Like
see.
Veterans
Okay.
Day, what the date specifically was, each one of the
All right.
dates. We approved the
And
title.
we'll make sure that you get a copy, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
All right?
But there wasn't anything odd like the 4th of July on a Thursday or something, right? Like that because sometimes they come and ask to give everybody like that Friday off, so it's,
The floating day.
you know what I mean?
Mhm.
There was, but there
Do we
wasn't
have,
anything like that this year.
do we get a floating day? Are we giving a
Other than
floating?
Well,
Thanksgiving,
there really is,
If you look, July the 3rd,
is on a Monday.
yeah, it's a Monday.
And July
No,
the
that's-
4th is on a Tuesday, so if you wanted to allow an extra holiday on July
The-
the 3rd.
On that
The-
weekend?
Yeah, the challenge is that July 3rd is a BOC meeting.
Man, ain't nobody gonna be here
Sorry,
on
Kelly.
July 3rd. I think we need to relook at that sometime down the road. I mean, not cancel the meeting, but,
We
okay, I'm
can,
just,
don't forget, this is just, we can change this at any time, 3 months out, when we get into it, we can take a look at it. We just want to get a schedule approved all the way around.
And there are
Gotcha.
times, remember this year, we have had times where we have canceled meetings because it fell very close to a holiday.
Right.
so good looking out on the front side.
Yeah.
Yes,
All
ma'am.
right, Mr. Chairman.
The same thing, we have a meeting on Juneteenth, we made that a holiday, so.
All right, do I have a motion to approve?
You already did.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go in and
All right,
call
any
for
more
vote.
discussion?
No, sir.
All the-
So the ones that are in red are the ones that aren't happening.
Or on the
Correct,
day
those
that
are
we have our,
holidays that
And so
have already been approved by the BOC.
but it's a meeting night too.
What I'm saying is that means that the meeting's not happening then.
Right.
That's correct.
Okay.
All right. Any more discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your hand. 5-0, thank you. Motion passes. Let's see. Item number 3, old item number 3, consider approval of the 2023 zoning public hearing dates for the Board of Commissioners.
Oh, motion to approve.
All right, I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Well, can we talk about the coming meeting that we're going to, are we can consolidate the next 2 months into one? We're going to have both of those on December 5th. Is that correct?
Yes.
For both of the zoning meetings?
Yes.
Okay, I'll make sure we
One
we
meeting
put
in
it out there.
December.
Yeah, otherwise, it's gonna be very tough to get all of y'all together because of the holidays.
Okay.
All right, motion to approve. All right, I have a motion. Do I have a second? All right,
Call for a vote.
Did Rita say?
all right, all those in favor signify by raising your hand. 5-0. Zoning public hearings dates have been approved. Old item number 3, establish a date for the Spalding County Board of Commissioners Annual Retreat so the staff can explore locations for this meeting. Dr. Ledbetter.
So in front of you, you will find the January calendar. And I know in years past, we have conducted the annual retreat on a Saturday. So any days are available if you are. The purpose for our retreat is to make sure that we're all in line for our priorities for 2023. And staff would entertain a motion for any date that you have available where we can go and look for a location that's not far, but at least affords us an opportunity to spend time together and contemplate what our priorities are going to be for next year.
How about 14 January?
Not available on the 14th of January.
Oh,
And
okay.
we are bent on a Saturday, we're saying,
No,
right?
we
Yeah.
are not,
Okay. I like a Friday, actually.
And that's also the Saturday before MLK, the 14th.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
How about the 20th or
You-
something?
The 13th?
How about the
Friday,
13th?
the 13th?
Oh,
You can't do it on the 13th.
Great idea. How about the 20th?
21 works for me.
just a second, I'm trying to get to the 20th.
I can do the 20th.
Way to go, Stephanie.
Friday?
All right, 20, we're doing it, now we're doing it, moving it to a Friday. Everybody
Can we
good
do
with
that,
Friday? This is the work, for the work,
Yeah.
those that are working.
I'm good.
All right,
I feel like I got an appointment for something, but I do not know what it is. Oh, wait a minute, hold it. Okay, I can change that.
all right. Going once, 20th of January? All those, everybody agree? Consensus?
Ryan, you good? I'm good.
All right,
Looks like
20 January?
all right, thank you. We will come back to the board with some suggestions on location, and we will move forward very quickly to make sure that we get it secured.
All right, hang on a second.
There's a lot of event space here as well.
Huh?
A lot of event space as well.
Should be able, all right. Old item number 4, consider requests from the Community Development Department for approval of the 2023 meeting schedule for the Zoning Board of Appeals and Planning Commission.
Mr. Chairman, motion to approve the listed zoning board of appeals and planning commission meetings for 2023.
All right, I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second? I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your hand. 5-0. All right. Director Littlefield's just knocking it out. All right, old item number 5. Consider approval of SD 08-03 final plat for the collection of Grayson Prac Phase 1, formerly known as Heron Bay Village, Coal Track Associates LP, owner portion of 258 Finch Road, approximately 37.616, located in land lot 146 of the Second Land District. The applicant is requesting approval of their final plat consisting of 67 lots. Ms. Littlefield.
Yes, sir. Kelly Littlefield, your Community Development Director, coming at you live and in color. So, this is actually the tract of land that is part of the Heron Bay Master Plan that was approved, I believe, 2 years ago. This portion of it, I believe, has changed owners. Correct me if I'm wrong. There is a representative from the applicant's party here tonight, but this is the final phase of Grayson Park, which is now what it's formerly known as. They have taken over this portion of it, and they're requesting approval of their final plat.
All right, go to the microphone, state your name, your company.
Good evening. My name is Jeff Foster with Starlight Homes, 3820 Mansell Road, Alpharetta. We're just requesting approval of this final plat as submitted.
Okay.
And if you have any questions, I will be here.
Any comments or questions from the board?
This 37-acre tract is mixed development, mixed-use development. I know that it's village nodes, so the density is gonna be different. Was there a green space requirement for them too?
No, ma'am, there was not a green space requirement. They do have an amenity included in it, as part of the village node, but also this is, 67 single-family units.
Okay.
All right, and recommendation from the staff?
It's for approval, yes, sir, as submitted.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your hand. 5-0. That's as easy as it gets. Oh, I'm sorry. All those opposed? 1. 4-1. Okay. Thank you. Item number 6, consider the approval of the final plat for Sun City Pod 21 and Pod 22, Phase 1, located within the Sun City Peachtree.
So Kelly Littlefield, Community Development Director, as submitted, this is the build-out for Pod 21 and Pod 22. This is directly adjacent, most closely to Tiemann Road. You can actually see it from the road, but it does have a gate access. There is a cul-de-sac in this, however, we have measured it several times, and it is in conjunction with their master plan that was approved previously.
And your recommendation?
The recommendation is approval, because it does flow with the master plan that's already been approved by the board.
Okay.
Question,
Yes.
Mr. Chairman. Kelly, so there is only one access in and out, and that's on Tiemann?
No, ma'am, there is a second one off of Jordan Hill. It is on the other side of the subdivision, but there is multiple access points. There's 2.
So there is a connectivity to the rest of the Sun City development?
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Sullivan and I, we recently did their performance bonds for landscaping, and we entered on the Tiemann Road side and came out on the Jordan Hill. There's full connectivity.
Great. That's all I had.
Okay.
And the landscaping, I would like to add, is pristine. It actually has survived the frost.
Good, good.
All right. We already got motions?
You do not.
Do I have a motion to approve?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like make a motion to approve the final plat for Sun City Pod 21 and 22, Phase 1, located
Okay.
at Sun City Peachtree.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. 5-0. Thank you. Old item number 7, consider the approval of the final plat for Pod 21, Phase 2, located within the Sun City Peachtree. Ms. Littlefield.
Kelly Littlefield, Community Development Director. So this is Phase 2 of the same pod that we just looked at. They did them in tandem with one another. Originally, they had them divided into 2 phases because they thought that the building would slow down. That has not happened. So these are having to be approved separately because of the way that the phasing was done in the master plan. However, both meet with the master plan concept that was originally approved by the board.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve.
And your recommendation?
It is for approval, yes, sir.
All right.
I made a motion.
All right, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. 5-0. Motion carries. Old item number 8, consider the approval of final plat for Pod 23 located within Sun City Peachtree. Ms. Littlefield.
Kelly Littlefield, Community Development Director. This is again in conjunction with that same master plan that's already been approved. I would like to add as a separate note, the curbing and the streets have already been installed in all 3 phases of these areas in Pod 21, 22, and 23, and the streets are much more conducive to the life safety code that was required. We've had several talks with Pulte in getting these streets straightened out and up to snuff. The other thing that I would like to also mention in this is, I mentioned landscaping earlier. The landscaping that has been installed after the tree ordinance was revamped with regard specifically to the subdivision ordinance, the trees are much more in keeping with the maintenance of the sidewalks. And we were able to actually negotiate with them to make sure that the trees that they're installing don't corrupt our streets either long-term. And they are providing those maintenance bonds longer-term as well.
Good. Okay. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
All right, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, motion and second. Any more discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your hand. 5-0.
Mr.
Motion-
Chair. Go ahead, Mr. Chair.
No. Motion carries.
Yes, sir. Mr. Chair, if I may ask for a floor privilege very quickly before we conclude all of the community development business this evening. I would like to say that it truly has been an honor this year to serve you as your new community development director. I have learned a lot since I've come to Spalding County. I've gained a few certificates since I've been here out of necessity. But it truly has been an honor. Your staff is such a pleasure to work with. They have been very diligent in minding all of this. We've all learned a tremendous amount. So thank you, first of all, for your grace in allowing us to learn those things, but also thank you so much for the privilege to serve your residents. We've come together as a staff and as a team, and it's been an honor. Thank you.
Thank you for what you're doing for our county.
Yes, sir.
We're getting better because of you. All right. I believe that's all the items. All right. Report of the county manager.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Subtropical Storm Nicole, we continue to monitor the latest on Subtropical Storm Nicole as it continues to organize and meander west toward the Bahamas and central southern Florida. Over the next 2 to 3 days, the track movement of Nicole will largely be dependent on the strength and position of a rather large area of high pressure that currently stretches from southwest Texas to the North Carolina coast. Our EMA director, Chief Polk, has done just a fabulous job at keeping staff updated, so kudos to the chief.
Agree.
Just a reminder that there still is an active threat of this particular storm transitioning into a hurricane with anticipation of at least a very large rain occurrence on Friday of this week. So we'll stay vigilant as a staff and make sure that we keep our community informed. GRPA, the Georgia Recreation and Parks Association, is meeting this week in Jekyll Island. We have several of our staff attending this event this week, and it's my privilege to let the board know that TJ Emberger is taking on the role of the association as president and will be sworn into that role Wednesday evening. So kudos to TJ. In fact, I believe that our county attorney is there this week making presentations. So Ms. Wyndham, if you don't mind, if you will pass along our great gratitude for Mr. TJ and all that he does for our community.
I'll be happy to.
Thank you. Election Day 2022, if you have not yet voted, please plan on voting tomorrow. This is your last chance to vote, as the polls will open tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. and close tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. So please take advantage of this great opportunity that our country affords us to vote. The Spalding County Dashboard Project, and UGA, sponsored by the UGA Archway students. Our staff and students continue to work through the details to provide a dashboard for our Board of Commissioners and our community. The purpose for this dashboard is to provide a transparency in our work that we perform. As we work through the details, we will engage business leaders and community representatives to ensure we deliver the right message through our dashboard. So more to come. We're about halfway through the semester with our students, and we're looking forward to an update this week. A huge thank you again to Chief Glenn Polk. It's great to have emails and phone calls from our dedicated staff who constantly and consistently look for ways to fund our operation through awards and grants. Thank you to Chief Polk for the $140,310 that we're receiving, that we've received over the last few weeks.
Wow.
These funds will provide box fans from Walmart, warning sirens from FEMA and GMA, and will reimburse funds for our COVID-19 supplies for our community. So kudos to you, Chief. You've done a wonderful job. Thank you. Finally, Happy Veterans Day. Spalding County will observe this holiday this coming Friday. According to VA.gov, the purpose for Veterans Day is a celebration to honor America's veterans for their patriotism, love of country, and willingness to serve and sacrifice for the common good. It's a privilege to be a veteran and celebrate my love for this country this coming Friday, November the 11th. This week, our county offices will be closed in observance of this holiday. If you have served, God bless you and thank you for your service. If you know someone who has served, please tell them thank you. Additionally, in consideration of those who within our community suffer from their time in service, whether through unemployment, struggles with a sense of purpose and identity, homelessness, physical handicaps, or poor mental health, please know there are those who care about you and stand ready to help. Let's all take this Friday, stop for just a few minutes, and consider how we can continue to support our veterans in our community. So thank you very much. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
That's pretty powerful. Thank you. Commissioner Johnson?
Okay. Wanted to say congratulations once again to those graduates from the 5th Annual Citizens Sheriff's Academy. Congratulations. And I'd just like to ask the sheriff, as far as size, normally, I know that was a very large class, so what's a normal class size for you that's manageable?
Everywhere between 15 and 20 usually, and we had, I think a total of 30 signed up. We had a couple that had to drop out.
All right, so is there a maximum?
We try to limit it to about 30.
Okay, I'm just wondering. Who knows, I may decide to do it one day, I don't know.
Cool.
Yeah, that's what I have here. Okay, so the lady that actually spoke to us regarding taking Big Blue out on the 16th and 17th, an invitation, I don't believe I received an invitation.
Me either.
If it's okay with the board, I'll follow up with her tomorrow and forward that information to
Okay,
you.
so I'll make sure I want her to know that it's not that we didn't get back
I
with her.
don't wanna go. I'd
Okay.
rather somebody else be able to get that first ride.
But there's a reason why she didn't get a request from us.
Yes,
It's not
yes,
that we
we
didn't
didn't
ignore
get it.
her, it's just that we, okay. And let me see what else we got here. That's it. I think that's all I had written down at this moment.
Okay, we can come back. All right. Commissioner Bolden?
I don't really have much tonight, but at the next citizens, thing, Sheriff, if you wanna put it out there, if they wanna tase a politician, I'll volunteer the next one.
Oh, my goodness.
Hold me to it now. And if Miss Gwen's gonna come, let her shoot me with it.
You ain't gonna get tased.
Oh, I
with
will.
those things. I ain't doing CPR on you.
All right. Ms. Quinn?
Two things. I attended a Georgia EMS conference a couple of weeks ago, and one of the legislative issues that has been adopted by GMA and by ACCG deals with emergency services, firemen, EMS, ambulance drivers, whatever, about the amount of reimbursement they get. First of all, we have Wellstar here, but there in this community, there's like 20 or 30 ambulance services, which are small businesses. And while a big corporation might be able to handle it because they have the volume, if you're a small, you're a small company and the Medicaid reimbursement is like $10 on a $1,000 bill, you can't afford to crank an ambulance up. It costs about $4,000 or $5,000 every time they crank it up. So what I would ask is that either we do a joint resolution or we as individuals contact our local delegation and tell them that this is something very important. Because if these other small business ambulance companies are not able to be there, you're talking about people standing on the wall waiting to get seen in the emergency room for hours at a time. And we have an even bigger problem because, there's a couple of hospitals that's not on the south side, so we don't have the ability to get those ambulance services to service in the community. So that is one of the things, reimbursement for Medicare and Medicaid. I don't know why that's different. It's the same pocketbook. They just calling it something else. But regardless, part of the reason why we're losing people in the service is because we're not offering them what they need to continue to go. I have an issue with the fact that mental health is not considered health. Your mental health definitely contributes to your physical health, but there's legislation to ask for special mental health care for people who should be getting it anyway. So I just think it's important for us as a board to say, we're a small community. It's very important for us to have these services. We need y'all to do what you need to do at the state so that these companies can continue to be to serve us in our community. The other thing is I am just so disappointed about Mr. Morgan and his paper he gave us. I would be pissed off too. It is so easy. I know TJ's been out of town, but somebody needs to talk to him. And we need to fix that road so that we can get the wash off done. Not that I'm so upset that we should just give him the land back, but if we promised this 25 years ago, it's a lot of us weren't here. 2 of y'all wasn't born. But yeah, let's see, can we at least have a conversation with him about this, because this is a non-doer. We got equipment, clean out the road. That's all I got.
Okay. Vice Chairman Dutton?
Number one, go vote. It's a big deal. Go vote. Just want to reiterate a couple things that we heard tonight. Shop small. I said it earlier, but Amazon doesn't pay for a page and to advertise in the high school yearbook and this kind of stuff. It doesn't. The next time the Griffin Ballet is doing something, that they're not the sponsor. It's a small business. It's a small business every time. If you want there to be a ballet, if you want there to be local theaters, if you want our rec departments and local high schools to be able to get new uniforms and that, those are small business donations go into that, and sponsorships go into that. It's not Walmart doing that. It's not Amazon doing that. That's a big deal. The stuff that we have going on here in Spalding County is really, really awesome. What has happened over the last 10 years is just incredible. Having grown up here and seeing all the different amenities we've got now, to say nothing of our staff, which I will say now, we've got the top fire chief in the state. We've got the top Parks and Rec person in the state. And as somebody who visits them, I know they don't necessarily give awards for best sheriff, but we've got one of the best sheriffs in the state. I was at a CLE, continuing legal education for defense attorneys, this statewide this weekend up in Brasstown Bald, and there were a lot of war stories shared from local sheriffs, not necessarily living up to that. And everyone, when I said, hey, my sheriff's different, everyone went, oh yeah, Spalding County? Yeah, he's great. And that's unbelievable. That's wow, how awesome. And I can say the same thing for our state court sheriff, our state court judge. The stuff that he's been able to do with technology in there, the way that how fast he and Patrick Shepard, our state court solicitor, have things moving in there. It's an example for the rest of the state. And last, I'm gonna end where I started. Freedom is a verb. Freedom isn't something you just sit around and have. Freedom is something that you've got to constantly go after and ensure you keep. And the two ways that are codified is jury duty and voting. And a lot of folks are like, how do I get out of jury duty? Man, it is an absolute honor to be on a jury. Go and take part in that. Go and vote. This is the verb of democracy. This is the verb of a republic. This is the verb of freedom. And we should all be honored to take that seriously and go and do it. That's all I'm got.
Thank you. Just a couple of things, reminder, Wednesday, we've got 8 o'clock meeting, so everybody doesn't forget. County Manager, I'd like for you to get a hold of our local legislators and see if they have an opportunity between now and the end of the year to come here and talk with us. So we have an opportunity to state those things that we're interested in before it goes to legislature, before they go to do that. Lastly is Veterans Day is important to me. Let me tell you, it's important to me. All you veterans, thank you. Home of the free, because of the brave. All of that stuff is true for me, and I believe in that for everybody that is a veteran. So thank you. Take the opportunity, if you aren't and you see a veteran, to take care of them. Say thank you. We've got a lot in this county that need help, and I feel strongly about that. All right, with that, anything from the council?
No.
County clerk? All right.
And I would just like to say thank you to the veterans that we have here on Board of Commissioners and staff. Thank you all.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second? Any discussion?
Do we have an executive session on the 9th? I have that on my calendar.
All those in favor signify by raising your hand. Yes, on the 9th.
Somehow I have.
On the 9th, we have 8 o'clock.
Did the second?
Yeah, that's, yeah.
That's always, that's executive session.
Okay, I
His
just
thing,
did the second.
yeah, his thing.
That's his contract, you've got it?
November the 9th.
Yes. Well, you was the one that said it at 8 o'clock in the morning.
That's right. That's because of you that we got it.
See, I should be doing that.